Most mothers don't turn down Christmas with the Queen, and most don't skip their daughter's baby shower, especially when it's headline news. But in just 3 months, Doria Ragland was absent from two of the most important moments in Meghan's life, and both times she was seen, photographed, alone, and quiet. So was Doria really staying private, or was she playing a much quieter and more strategic role in Meghan's story? Because in a narcissistic system, silence isn't absence, it's placement. But before we begin, here's the intro. Welcome to Revealing the Narc. Join me as I highlight narcissistic traits in celebrities and public figures. Everything here is in my opinion and not professional advice. If you enjoy the analysis, please like and subscribe. We're getting closer and closer to Mother's Day, and whenever I've talked about Harry and Meghan, or Meghan in particular, I've talked about narcissism in romantic relationships. But I think it's important, as all of you, so I've gotten so much feedback about this, to talk about what narcissism can look like in a mother and daughter, mother and son, or father daughter parental relationship, basically. So, over the next few weeks, I'm going to explore other famous parent child dynamics. And I wanted to start with Doria and Meghan. So many people have been asking, where is Doria? Like, seriously, where is she? We saw her once, I think, in With Love Megan. And just a couple of days ago or a week ago, she was on Megan's Instagram, but we really don't see her a lot. Before we begin this video, I want to be transparent about something. I don't know everything about Doria. She's remained quiet, composed, and mostly out of the spotlight. But maybe that's by design. And I'm hoping that over the next few weeks, as we explore the dynamics in these different relationships, I'll learn a lot, and I hope you'll learn a lot too. And also, if you have any information you want to share, also please go ahead and drop those in the comments. One more thing before we begin. I have heard that a lot of people are getting their comments reported. So be very careful about the things you say in the comments. I'm not saying it in any way because I don't want you to express your opinion or anything like that. I want you to be as free as possible in this community as long as we are supporting and uplifting each other. I just want to caution you because I don't want any of you to have your account taken away or your commenting abilities to be taken away. Okay, so let's get into this. While I was doing research for this video, I I got a subscription to the Daily Mail, and I just typed in the search box Doria Ragland and and of course I put it in order because I want to start from the first history. So I put it in order of which one is the oldest, and I saw two articles that came up about 3 months apart. The first one is Christmas in 2018, and the second one is Meghan's New York City baby shower in February 2019. So this is taking place about 3 months apart. So let's get into that first article. It's titled Doria Ragland Steps Out in LA After Turning Down the Queen's Invitation to Spend Christmas with the Royals and Pregnant Daughter Meghan in the UK. And as you can see here, this article was published December 17, 2018. The article begins, Doria Ragland's appearance in Los Angeles came on the same day it was confirmed she will not spend Christmas with the British royals this year, despite Queen Elizabeth II extending the rare invite for a non-royal during Meghan's first festive season with the family. I think there's two things we can look at here. Number one, is this story true? Is it true that Queen Elizabeth II invited Doria? So that's a speculation point. But let's assume for the purpose of this video that she did. This wasn't just a missed dinner. The Queen broke decades of royal precedent to invite Doria to Sandringham. And the article later says that even the Middleton family had not received this as of 2018 when this article was written. The article then says she politely declined the Queen's offer of spending December 25 at Sandringham, People reported. The phrasing here, politely declined, also makes it sound routine, but in reality, this seems like a once-in-a-lifetime moment. Here you can see the image of Doria, and what I want to point out here is that this image was taken by Backgrid. So I've been watching the Sidley twins for quite a while, and they talk about I have never noticed this in the photos where it says Backgrid. So, what is Backgrid? It's a celebrity photo agency that's known for candid style paparazzi shots, but typically they work with celebrities or their PR teams to arrange these photo ops. So, when someone is caught alone running errands, especially when it's on a day as a high profile event they didn't attend, it can function as image control. So, in this case, the background photos of Doria that appeared on the exact days of major moments raise eyebrows. If Megan arranged or allowed Doria to be papped by Backgrid, it suggests the absence was intentional and performative, not private. If Backgrid found her independently, it's still unusual timing. Let's go to the second article. The second article was published in February 2019, so it is about 2 months later. And the title is Doria Ragland spotted alone in LA while daughter Meghan Markle parties with famous friends at her $300,000 baby shower. I don't even want to get into the, the insanity that was this baby shower. And I mean, before we begin, isn't that so odd that Doria wouldn't be there? It just seems so strange to me. The article says Meghan Markle was feted by her newfound celebrity pals and recent co stars on Wednesday at a posh baby shower held at the Mark in New York City, while across the country, her mother was seen walking alone in Los Angeles. So it's not just that Doria wasn't at the shower, but her absence is documented again. And it created the perfect visual contrast to Meghan's Manhattan spotlight. In the article, it mentions that there was not a single person in attendance who has known Markle for more than a decade. Wow. That one sentence says a lot. No longtime friends, no family, not even her mother, only new allies, curated for visibility and not closeness. When a person builds an entirely new circle and discards everyone else, it's not reinvention, it's erasing the past. The article also says Ragland's absence also meant that Markle had not one family member at the party, including new sister in law, Princess Catherine, though baby showers have never been a British tradition. The article continues Ragland has made a point to avoid the spotlight ever since her daughter and Prince Harry announced their engagement. So, this is how it's being framed as dignity. But in a narcissistic dynamic, the quiet participant can still be part of the performance. Doria's silence makes sure Megan's version of the story is the only one we hear. It keeps Megan's story unchallenged, and that might be the most powerful role of all. So, there are three specific things I want to talk about in this entire situation. The first one is that these weren't small moments, they were symbolic. Like I said earlier, the Queen's invitation, that was unprecedented. And yet Doria didn't go. So I'm going to ask you, what do you think it means when the matriarch of the monarchy extends a hand and the matriarch of the Markle household politely declines? The second event, the baby shower, that's a big moment too. And that shower was curated. There was press coverage, pap walks, Serena Williams, Gail King, Amal Clooney. It wasn't private, it was a rollout. The absence of anyone who had known Meghan for more than a decade, including her mother, added to the feeling that maybe this was a rebrand and not a reunion. This wasn't about privacy, this was about image and who fit into it. These weren't silent absences, they were visible counter narratives. It creates this split screen effect. You have the royal fantasy on one side, emotional distance on the other. It sends a clear message. Doria is close enough to be symbolic, but never present enough to be accountable. So Doria's absence in both of these moments wasn't just emotional or practical. I believe it served a function. Whether intentional or not, it allowed Megan to position herself as independent, unguided, and potentially the misunderstood outsider rewriting the script. The second thing I want to talk about is that the silence is scripted. This wasn't just a passive absence, it was choreographed. While most people avoid the spotlight to dodge attention, Doria was photographed on the same day that these events occurred. With regards to the Christmas decline, that picture is a visual no thank you. With the baby shower, she's contrasted because the New York baby shower was high glam, high paparazzi, high profile, and across the country, Doria, dressed in black, carrying food containers alone, unrushed. In narcissistic dynamics, absence can be louder than presence. It says, I could be there, but I chose not to. And that choice, it changes the whole emotional script from left out to above it all. Sometimes not showing up is the most controlling move of all. So I want to make a distinction between the first 2 points. The first point was that these were meaningful events, and Doria's absence made them emotionally lopsided, meaning Megan was representing just herself. My second point was that these were produced absences, they were photographed. It was documented that Doria was not at these events. And at least with the first one, we know the pictures were taken by Backgrid. And finally, let's get into the third point. Silence isn't neutral, it's a tool. When someone like Doria, close, central, expected, is silent for years, it's not just mystery, it's power. This isn't privacy, this is strategic ambiguity, where saying nothing says something. Silence works in narcissistic systems for a couple of reasons. The first is it creates projection. Everyone fills in the blanks. Is she dignified? Is she supportive? Is she secretly upset? Silence lets others build the narrative for you while you stay above reproach. I'm sorry. The second is it avoids accountability. By never saying where she stands, Doria can't be tied to any fallout. She's no public defense of Meghan, no public condemnation, just presence or absence. Now, whether this was a mother's refusal to show up or a daughter deciding not to invite her or a dual decision to have her not be there, in narcissistic dynamics, this silence can serve as a punishment. It can make the person that's not the major decision maker feel like they're being erased. It's the absence of warmth, but it's disguised as calm. And it's interesting because Megan and Doria, if you look at them, there's a really big contrast between them. Megan is highly curated and media driven. Doria appears quiet and grounded. In some dynamics, one person may play the martyr to elevate the moral image of the other. And here's where it gets layered. Doria's silence becomes a shield and a sword. It's a shield, I didn't say anything. It's a sword, but I also didn't stop anything. She's close enough to be seen, far enough to be blameless. This is a masterclass in image preservation. The key takeaway here is that silence in narcissistic family dynamics isn't just passive. It can be performative, it can be punishing, and powerful. When you're in the orbit of a narcissist, especially someone as publicly curated as Megan, your role becomes part of their narrative. Narcissists don't just control the spotlight, they control who's allowed to stand in it and who disappears from the frame. And sometimes the silence around them is just as revealing as the noise they make. I don't know if Doria is a narcissist. That's not a conclusion I'm ready or qualified to make. So let's look at what we do know about Doria. She's almost completely silent. No interviews, no corrections, no contradictions. She appears at key image building moments, the wedding, the Netflix documentary, Invictus Games, but she doesn't speak a lot. She's framed as the rock, the graceful contrast to Thomas Markle, but her own narrative is blank, and perhaps this contrast is critical, something to think about. And there's two more things we know about Doria. Megan said, I grew up an only child, which contradicts public record, and Doria has never corrected her. And we also know that Megan lived with her father during her formative years, and yet that absence is rarely acknowledged. So, what could all this mean? If Doria has narcissistic tendencies or narcissistic behavior patterns, silence could be used as control or image protection. She would align with power and not truth, and what some people call loyalty in narcissistic systems. If she's an enabler for Megan, she could be avoiding conflict to stay close to Megan and her world. She could be quietly benefiting from proximity to fame, and she could be staying silent because of enmeshment, fear, or trauma. Or maybe it's just complicated. Maybe she is a flawed but quiet mother who doesn't know how to speak up, someone who's lost her voice in her daughter's loud narrative. Maybe she's a parent walking the tightrope between access and authenticity. Even if Doria isn't the narcissist, her silence still functions within the narcissistic system. Because when a narcissist, like Megan, allegedly, and in my opinion, controls the spotlight, anyone who stays quiet can unintentionally help shape the narrative. Silence becomes complicity. So I'm curious to know what you all think about this. Please drop that in the comments. If this was interesting to you, please like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you'll know every time I drop a new video. A couple of days ago, I spontaneously did a live stream and I had a bunch of people join. It was so great. So I may be doing a lot more of those. It's just really easy for me to not plan it and just spontaneously come on. And I believe if you hit that notification bell, you'll know whenever I go spontaneously live. So I would love it if you could do that and you could join me on the live streams. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know everything you thought about it. Drop that in the comments. Please share if you feel comfortable. And I will talk to you all soon. Bye, everybody.